Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood. You are watching the Political Vigilante Live. You're making Gotham great again. Shave your knuckles for justice. Who's joining me in the All Things Comedy World headquarters? Ron Placone.
Howdy, howdy, everybody. Good to be here. It is, man, despite the clouds in Southern California, it's a good day today.
Well,
for a number of reasons.
You've been doing a lot of traveling.
Yeah, man.
You seem to want to extend the Australian jet lag further.
By going to the East Coast pretty much immediately. Like 3 days after we got back from Australia, I was on a plane to Pennsylvania, mostly for wedding stuff, but also for, you know, like kind of like a late holiday thing with my family and whatnot. So yeah, my body, I think, is just like, dude, we don't even know like what's going on. We're just going to tell you when we're tired and you're just going to go to sleep. And then you'll wake up when it's just time to not be tired anymore. And that's just so I wouldn't get tired until like 2 or 3 in the morning. And then I would just wake up randomly. And usually it would be like late morning because, I didn't see the sun much in Pennsylvania. That's sort of a common thing this time of year out there. And,
yeah, they kind of ban it.
Yeah, it's
on the
not
East Coast,
really.
Right?
You get 20 days a year, so you get your time. And but then that's it.
Yeah.
So, and it's cloudy here. I came back to the clouds.
Yeah, it has been cloudy here. I haven't surfed since I was in Perth, and this is my seasonal affective disorder. Thank you.
I wonder how many people in other parts of the country are rolling their eyes at us right now. We're just like it's cloudy. We haven't surfed.
Well,
and they're like, I dug my car out of snow, you assholes.
I'll say this: there are numerous.
We both grew up with snow, by the way.
Yeah, and we moved out.
It's not like we didn't pay our dues.
Yeah, I paid my dues. I'm done. I'm out. The winter of 1994, I had to dig my car. There was a frozen in Chicago. I had to park on the street in my neighborhood. There was a car covered in snow for 3 months. I had to dig my car. It was minus 50 degrees for a while. I'm done, dude. I'm out.
We both walked 15 miles to school.
Yeah,
in the snow
every
day.
Carrying pork chops on my hat. You know what I mean? So I'm out, dude. I can't.
Delivering coal for Granny Petro.
I can't.
We all did it. We had to do it. We didn't have a choice.
But Greta, delivering coal made you stronger, Greta.
You built up a resiliency in the snow. You never needed a flu shot, Greta.
Greta, we got typhoid and we were happy. It was cured with oil. That's how they found the vaccination for oil, Greta. So I just want to welcome everybody to the chat. There's 46 people watching. What's going on? Jimmy just ended. Oh, cool. I didn't know. I didn't know he was going on. You came over. Great. Charlie, Backyard Politics, Cannon Fodder. Good to see everybody. And yeah, we've got. I'm working on getting a moderator to start taking out.
Trolls.
Taking out trolls. So great way to support the show. 52 people watching. Make sure you hit the like button. And a lot of people are you asking about, I don't know, I think of politicians, something happened today. Somebody announced.
I saw that too. Whoa!
I thought she was a top tier candidate.
That's what I heard.
Oh, she told us.
Man, I was like, goodbye, Kamala. It's been nice. Hope you find your paradise. Wait. I don't hope she finds her paradise because her paradise would involve throwing a lot of people in jail. So do not find your paradise, Kamala Harris.
Using prison labor. That's what I do. Oh, man. 120,000 people of color behind bars. Bow. So she's supposed to, I don't think she's released a video yet. Aaron, can you monitor the internet? And the minute Kamala releases an internet a video,
have your ear to the internet. And when she says something,
turn your transistor radio, Aaron, to the internet.
I patently refuse.
But anyway, she did release a statement. So let's read that. I'm not a billionaire. I can't fund my own campaign, she said. And as the campaign has gone on, it's become harder and harder to raise the money we need to compete. Well, that's true. She's not a billionaire. Now the Bloomberg's in.
She's not a billionaire.
There's Steyer and Bloomberg, two guys who have no business being there. Kamala actually has more business being there than those two jackasses.
Doesn't that speak to the Democratic
Right.
Party, where it's like you can somehow make Kamala Harris look like for the working person?
Yeah, she, the cop, Kamala Harris.
How broken is our system?
It was so great. So I got a text from a comedian friend of mine. I think he wants to remain anonymous on this, but this is his joke. He goes, "So now does she have to give the money back to Steve Mnuchin that donated to her various campaigns?" So she's complaining she's not a billionaire. She can't fund her own campaign. Well, Bernie Sanders isn't a billionaire. How is he funding his? Oh, that's right. He's got policies and platforms that resonate with masses of people.
And they're all volunteering and giving.
and they're all
the average donation is about $18 this year, right?
Oh, and he's actually gotten more individual donors and more donation dollars than he did at this point in the campaign 4 years ago.
That's correct.
Weird.
And they're knocking on more doors in Nevada than like the previous years.
Yeah, because
they've already knocked on 100,000 doors.
They know how insignificant it is, right? And every time Bernie goes in the polls, it's like we always hear about Pete Buttigieg is in a strong fourth place. And now that Kamala drops out, the mainstream media is not going to say, oh, Bernie, this is his election to win now. They're going to go, she's going to make a fantastic VP.
They're already saying it.
They're already saying it.
it.
She's going to make a fantastic VP.
Now, let me ask you this, because I felt this way, and I still do. Do you think she was, and I could be wrong, do you think she was kind of the establishment's anointed one initially?
Oh, yes.
You do too? Okay. See, I totally thought she was, and I'm like, okay, she didn't stick the first time. No, I predicted she was going to get another cycle. And either they tried and it really failed, or she just didn't get it. One of the two.
Well, I agree. I thought, they're going to keep trying to push her down.
I thought they were going to push her
They're going to keep pushing because they pushed her so hard in the spring. When she announced, there was like, oh, Kamala. She's amazing. Obama endorsed her. She's great. And then, every time she tried to play the identity politic, this is the beautiful thing about the internet. The internet can be an angry fire. It can be crazy things. It can do a lot of crazy stuff. But when she's like, I smoked weed with Tupac, and the internet went, no, you didn't. You graduated college before their albums even came out. Mm-hmm. You're lying. Like everyone kept calling her out on it. And they kept forcing it down her throat. We saw her meet with big donors and get the guidance of the Clinton. Her sister worked for the Clinton campaign. What the inside scuttlebutt is that her campaign staff and her sister and stuff were butting heads, right?
Oh, really?
And that's why it started to fall apart. But also, let's look at this. I can show you why she was the anointed one. They told her she was the anointed one, and she was like, huh? How dare you?
Congresswoman Gabbard, you took issue with Senator Harris confronting Vice President Biden at the last debate. You called it a, quote, false accusation that Joe Biden is a racist. What's your response?
I want to bring the conversation back to the broken criminal justice system that is disproportionately negatively impacting black and brown people all across this country today. Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence.
Kamala Harris is thinking, are there handcuffs somewhere, and can I put them on Tulsi Gabbard?
Can I
is there
taser
a way
her?
someone can I
the big cheering, Kamala was like, that look down is like, wait a minute, I thought this audience was stacked in my favor.
Well, they made sure they did the most recent time.
Yes.
They made sure they stacked it when Gabbard and Buttigieg went at it. They made sure that was stacked for Buttigieg.
Yeah.
MSNBC made sure of it. CNN wasn't looking out quite as much, but MSNBC made sure of it.
Well, they thought they had this locked up, and no one was expecting, not CNN, not the DNC, no one was expecting Tulsi Gabbard to do this.
Evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place. that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Looks like she's
Thank you,
writing
Congresswoman.
something.
Senator Harris, your response?
I think she's drawing a hangman. That's what.
As the elected Attorney General of California, I did the work of significantly reforming the criminal justice system of a state of 40 million people, which became a national model for the work that needs to be done.
And this is the other thing. In the past, with less people paying attention, even as recently as 2016, you could make ridiculous claims like this. But when now there's people on Twitter in real time, more people are paying attention now. They're going, no, 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 no. You put 120,000 people of color behind bars.
Right.
What did you reform? How did you reform it? And what I see is people of color on Twitter going, no, I call bullshit, Kamala. And they did it in real time, and they've been doing it for months. Prior to this, when she announced...
They did it. Yeah, I was going to say, they did it when she announced. There were tons of people going at her, and it was all kinds of people, but a lot of people of color, a lot of black people, a lot of like everything. People were just like, no, we know what you really are.
Yeah. And so when she's saying this, everyone in real time, I remember, because I was, as I've done for every debate, as you've done, I was live tweeting, and I just saw Twitter explode when she said this right here.
And I am proud of that work. And I am proud of making a decision to not just give fancy speeches or be in a legislative body and give speeches on the floor, but actually doing the work of being in the position to use the power that I had to reform a system that is badly in need of reform. That is why we created initiatives that were about reentering former offenders and getting them counseling. It is why, and because I know that criminal justice system is so broken, that I am an advocate for what we need to do to not only decriminalize, but legalize marijuana in the United States.
I want to bring Congresswoman Gabbard back in. Your response.
The bottom line is, Senator Harris, when you are in a position to make a difference and an impact in these people's lives, you did not. And worse yet, in the case of those who are on death row, innocent people, you actually blocked evidence from being revealed that would have freed them until you were forced to do so. There is no excuse for that. And the people who suffered under your reign as prosecutor, you owe them an apology.
Bam.
That. And the body language, I mean, I got this from Tulsi's YouTube page, but you can watch the whole thing. It's about 8 minutes long. That Kamala going, that body language, she's just like, this was not supposed to happen. I didn't think we had this all planned out. Like,
right.
whoa, you're not supposed to call me on my actual bullshit. I'm supposed to just give platitudes and dumb Americans just snatch it up because of identity politics.
Well, clearly the moderators didn't want it to happen because they asked Tulsi Gabbard a totally different question. And it was like a substanceless baiting question.
Yeah.
And kudos to her for not taking the bait and instead, no, we're bringing it back here because this needs to be said.
Yes.
And, like her and Bernie are the only people that ever do that in the debates.
Yes.
And they have to.
They have to.
And it shows how backwards and broken our contemporary society is when we find ourselves rooting for a politician over a journalist in any circumstance.
Yes.
You should never be rooting for even if it's a politician you like, you should be rooting for the journalist to talk to them on some of the things they're not as strong on or some of the things they need to be pushed on. You should never be rooting for the politician, but yet every debate.
That's a great question. If a journalist asked Bernie, hey, Bernie, you voted against the war in Iraq. You're against this invasion in Iran, but you voted for these handful of wars. Can you explain that?
Can you explain it?
Can you explain that? I want to see that question asked of Bernie.
Sure.
Not the sandbagging nonsense they give him, but they're not going to ask him that because CNN and MSNBC, as is Fox and ABC, they get money from the war machine, so they can't take the slightest anti-war stance.
Right.
And the other thing, again, they ask Kamala softball questions. They sandbag Tulsi, and good for Tulsi for calling her out on this, because here's one thing I have yet to see this video on any sort of rotation anywhere. I haven't seen this question asked. But the thing that's beautiful about this election, more people are paying attention.
Yeah.
So while the corporate media won't show this upcoming video that I'm going to show, we're aware of it because we work in independent media.
Okay, so I say with all love and warmth that part of the concern also for people who are progressive thinking and liberal minded, or just progressive thinking in terms of just fix it, is that we all have these posters in our closet that...
Don't say we. You don't have one of these posters, Kamala. You don't have this poster in your closet, okay? You got handcuffs and orange jumpsuits to give to your labor.
Is attached to a stick that we sometimes will cart out when we're talking about criminal justice policy and those statistics that you first heard when we opened it up, incarceration, and we run around with these signs, build more schools, less jails. Build more schools, less jails. And we walk around everywhere, build more schools, we protest, build more schools, less jails. Put money into education, not prisons. There's a fundamental problem with that approach, in my opinion.
Nope, there's not.
No, there isn't. There isn't a fundamental approach.
There's totally not.
There's a fundamental approach. There's a fundamental problem with you. There's a fundamental problem that we live in a country where there are for-profit prisons. That is the fundamental
That's the fundamental problem.
That's the fundamental problem.
That's not legal in other places.
Yes. But no, it gets more offensive.
And it's this. I agree with that conceptually. But you have not addressed the reason I have 3 padlocks on my front door.
No, they just addressed it. The fact that if we had more schools, you wouldn't need 3 padlocks on your front door.
Yeah.
If we had a criminal justice system that actually reformed people rather than had criminal colleges, if we had education, if we had health care, if we had free college tuition, how many people would need to be criminals? How many deadbolts would you need?
But she would never want to make that connection. I mean, you can just see her moving the goalposts in real time if you look close enough.
Yeah, that's what she's doing. That's it.
Is she done?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, she is done.
And she is done.
She's so done. I'm so glad that this neoliberal corporate pro-private prison, pro-banking, pro-corporate establishment, pro-war machine candidate is gone.
Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah. Now we just got some more.
We just got to get rid of some
people
more.
were asking the question, and I think it's a fair question to ask, like, why was Kamala Harris first when there are so many other unqualified people too?
Right.
And so many other corrupt people too, which is a fair question to ask.
Yes.
And I think it's just because her corruption was just so on the surface that she was just the easiest to unmask.
Yeah, and the thing is because she was so outspoken, and this is the thing that has bitten the Democrats in the ass going back to the 90s, the tough on crime. Mm-hmm. You can't sit there and go, oh my God, what Trump is doing at the border is so awful when you've done similar crap. You can't sit there and say he's putting families in cages, which is awful. What is happening at the border is horrifying. But these cages, who built them? They were built under the Obama administration. It was the Biden crime bill that was ratified by President Clinton, which has put hundreds of thousands of people, mainly of color, behind bars.
Oh, he had his role in the Patriot Act, too.
Yeah.
I think for him, I think the only reason, because Biden definitely has as much on the surface. Well, actually, I take that back. He has more on the surface than Kamala Harris. What he has that she doesn't have is that Obama bromance.
Yes.
They're able to draw that too. They're all, well, he was Obama's guy.
Right.
Once he can't coast on that anymore, I think he's next. And I think Buttigieg's starting to get unmasked too.
I hope. Yeah, Buttigieg started to get unmasked. The Onion put that article out about Pete Buttigieg just found out that there's actual black voters. The Onion. Oh my God, the Onion is so
They have
perfect.
been nailing it a lot recently.
They're like the most trusted name in news.
Yeah.
I mean, for real.
Pretty much.
The Kamala thing, though, this is so amazing. This is what's starting to give me hope. The last 2 months, I've really started because yes, the DNC is trying to cheat. Exactly. But this is when you know you can beat an opponent. When they are using the exact same way they beat you last time and you've made adjustments and they haven't. Mm-hmm. This is when you know you can beat them.
And it's also evident that, like you said, and like we've both said, more people are paying attention. Because, I mean, Tulsi Gabbard dunking on her repeatedly definitely played a huge role in sinking her campaign. Was it the only thing? It wasn't the only thing,
no.
But it played a huge role.
Well, there's this combination of things that are slowly giving me hope. More so than ever. The DNC is doing exactly what we thought they would do.
Oh, yeah.
They're still going to try to push Bernie to a second ballot so the super delegates can cheat him.
Of course.
But this is like, wow. This isn't like Jay Inslee dropping out or one of the other, like, you know, Andrew Yang or somebody.
This was the chosen one. I mean, she was the chosen one.
Yeah.
I'm convinced of that. And she just did not stick at all because of her own corruption that people weren't just turning a blind eye to.
Yeah.
You know, because, I mean, she actually had, I mean, strictly speaking from an objective observational standpoint, she had a couple good appearances in the debates early on.
Yeah.
Then, you know, Tulsi handed her a lunch.
Well, when she called
never
out,
recovered.
Yes, good point. When she called out Joe Biden, it was like, okay.
She got some golden sound bites, and people were like, you know, and kind of like when you just look at it on the surface, if you're not paying a lot of attention, you don't know much about her. She looks like she looks like today, right? I mean, she looks like this is the future. This person is forward thinking. She's calling out Joe Biden, who's stuck in the past. You know, on the surface, that's what it looks like. But
we don't need it. And the identity politics, I'm sorry to interrupt, but like, we don't need another old white guy. See the identity politics of this, but then you unmask her.
Then you unmask it, and it's like, well, she's incredibly corrupt too.
She's incredibly corrupt.
You know, but for someone who just started paying attention, she looked damn good.
She looks great. If I wasn't paying that much of attention, I would think, yeah, this is what we need. And then you find out who she is and what her record is. Steve Mnuchin donated her 2010 AG campaign. She doesn't prosecute Mnuchin. Then he donates again to her senatorial campaign. I'm sure he's donated to her presidential campaign. And it's like...
She giggles about throwing truant kids of, or the parents of truant kids in jail. I mean, she's just...
This speech is offensive.
Very
Every
much
time
so.
I watch it,
She's just mocking protesters in general.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, you don't like the status quo, so you get a thing with the stick and get... It's like, oh, God.
So condescending. She got your little sign. Ugh. And after Tulsi crushed her, she went, well, I'm a top tier candidate. Not so top tier now, are you? And also, so we've seen that happen. So then Hillary, which this was a gift, calls Tulsi a Russian asset. Tulsi calls her the queen of warmongers. And not only that, Clinton, by calling Tulsi a Russian asset, gives Tulsi a week's worth of free airtime.
Oh, big time.
Which has boosted her numbers.
Tell her story. And, you know, my mom always said, you know, you attract people more with honey than with,
vinegar.
Like vinegar. And then that's very true. I mean, I think it had to have taken Hillary Clinton at least 3 weeks before she realized Queen of Warmongers wasn't a compliment.
Yeah.
So for the longest time, she probably thought, oh, Tulsi, she's killing me with kindness. I feel bad now. And then slowly she realized, oh, wait.
Oh.
People don't like that.
Oh, I thought
I was about to put it as a 2020 slogan.
Ew.
Can't do that now. Now I like that Russian asset even less.
I'm with Queen of Warmongers. That happens. Then 3 of the 4 members of the gang endorse Bernie.
Squad.
Tulsi, the squad. Yeah, the squad.
Well, and then Ariana Presley, I mean, aren't you wondering, man, is she having some second thoughts when she had to... Elizabeth Warren, I'm sorry, we're both comics. If you can't handle a heckler, you can't lead a country.
No.
I'm sorry. If you can't handle a heckler, you cannot lead a country. You cannot solve climate change or have any part in it. I'm sorry.
How are you going to be the leader of the
stood there.
What are you going to do?
She just stood there, and then Ariana Presley had to bail her out.
Bail her out. How are you? And Steph Zamorano brought this up when we talked about it on the Jimmy Dore show. Is Liz Warren going to bring Presley to the debates versus Trump?
Right?
Because what do you think Trump's going to do?
As soon as he says something mean, she's going to run up there and bail her out.
Liz Warren's just going to freeze when Trump says something mean?
Ariana Presley, you wouldn't have to do that for Bernie.
No.
You would never have to do that for Bernie in a million years.
No, he doesn't need bailing out. So it's good. You know, I thought more of the smaller candidates would start dropping out, but this is huge. The thing you got to wonder... Be careful of some Clinton orchestration. Warren drops out next. Biden drops out. And then Hillary goes, someone's got to lead us. Be careful, man. That's the kind of insanity that she and her husband have.
I mean, I mean, you can't rule it out as an impossibility until it's literally an impossibility.
But I'm slowly, because more and more people are paying attention. I had this conversation with Tim Black like about 6 or 7 months ago. And he said this, and he kind of planted this seed in my head. He goes, Graham, more people are paying attention than they were 4 years ago. And we're seeing it. More people are paying attention. Her getting unmasked, Pete getting unmasked, Robert Francis O'Rourke getting unmasked. We're starting to see more of it. And then when this goes viral.
I saw that made me aware when I was in law school, proudly for Holloway, proudly for your dad, first African-American state senator in the state of Delaware. Everything about And by the way, I sit on the stand, and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap. And I tell you what, the men, they're now all men, the guys I work with down here, and they're all guys at the time, they're all good men. Most of them made an awful lot of themselves. And Earl Larkin had a rough time. And some of you knew Earl. I came back as a public defender.
What you just said
This is
is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
Anyway, just had to show Biden because he's getting unraveled in real time. Like
Literally and figuratively.
Literally,
I mean, I think next time you do a political vigilante game show, you need to have a new segment, Joe Biden's speech or shitty beat poetry, and see if people can differentiate it. Now, by the way, some people were like, I tweeted that, and people were like, come on, Ron, the beat. And I'm actually a fan of the Beat Generation. I did say shitty beat poetry.
Right.
Not the good stuff, the shitty stuff. Like, and Earl had a hard time, daddy-o. And there would be hair on my legs. And sometimes the sunscreen would drip, drip, drip. And it was cool swaying, and the kids would jump on my lap. And it was all guys, and that was okay, daddy-o. Guy or girl, man, we would party. Yeah. Frankie, baby. Like Joe Biden's speech or shitty beat poetry?
what was it?
That was a little bit of both.
What was it? What was it?
That was...
Oh,
but yeah, he's wow.
It's there's another thing I
Who's
want.
inspired by that?
Who is inspired by that?
Like, it's
who's
just-
inspired by him saying malarkey? Who's inspired by the term malarkey?
No malarkey is a gateway drug to shitty politics. Did you know that? That's
Like, there's a speech. I mean, he says some of the craziest things, man. He said, what did he say in, God, what did he say in 2008 about, about black men?
the thing about condoms and stuff.
Yeah.
Is that what you're referring to? Oh yeah. I don't remember the exact quote, but yeah, I think I saw that a while back. Even back then, he had a bunch of just ridiculous gaffes, but he was just so kind of under the radar and such, like Obama picked him, and then it was like, oh, he's friendly Joe or whatever.
Yeah, it's crazy because it's like he
has the no malarkey bus.
He said it's unbelievable. The fact that the stuff he says about black people, if Biden wouldn't have picked him, or if Obama wouldn't have picked Biden, that's the only reason he's allowed to get away with any of this in the slightest. All the Joe Biden sniffing people's hair stuff, and then he puts his arm around that girl. I love kids jumping in my lap. He's out of his mind.
Well, my buddy Lenny Shelton has a really, really good joke. He's just like, dude, I believe Joe Biden is at least somewhat racist because his entire campaign is, I have a black friend.
Right.
That's what my buddy Lenny says, and it's so true and so funny. But yeah, his campaign knows this. Right. That's why. They are intentionally, and this has all been documented, they're intentionally booking him as little as possible. You don't see him out often.
Right.
Usually when you see him, it's when he's having campaign events and somebody posts it online and it goes viral because of how ridiculous he is, or he's confronted by someone in the Sunrise Movement and his answer's so shitty that it goes viral.
Yeah.
He is proving there is such a thing as bad publicity because that's literally all he's getting. And then when someone in the Latino community asks him about immigration, he has nothing. So he says, vote for Trump. Pretty much says, hey, I'm done. And when someone asks him about healthcare, again, he has nothing. So he says, I guess you should just vote for Bernie, which, Joe, that's good advice,
Thanks,
by
Joe.
the way. That's great advice,
Good
Joe.
props, buddy. 262 people watching. Hit the like button, everybody. Let's answer some super chats. Visit Ron Placone and I on the road. December 13th, we're in Ventura. December 14th, we're in Hollywood, and a bunch of dates in 2020. Go to GrahamElwood.com or RonPlacone.com for tour dates. Shave your knuckles for justice.
Joe Biden is like if jet lag was a person. That's like I'm thinking about it. Like he is jet lag personified.
He's Joe Biden jet lag 2020.
Totally.
He's the jet lag
Joe. I gotta. All right, let's get that trending. Let's get that trending.
Start that trending right now.
I'm tweeting it right now.
Everybody right now.
You guys tweet it too.
Jet lag Joe.
Jet lag Joe.
Joe Biden is the jet lag of candidates.
Joe Biden.
Hashtag jet lag Joe 2020.
Like if jet lag. Is jet lag one word or two? I think it's two.
Two. Make it one.
Was a
for
person.
Twitter. Make it one.
Yeah. Let's make it one.
Because when you're so tired, you just don't know what you're saying, and you're just like. That day I got back from Australia, I took a nap, and then I did my live chat, and some of the questions I was just like, all right.
And you were like, when I go surfing, my leg hair sometimes it turns blonde, and I like it when the surfboard's in my lap. And they were like, Graham, we asked about the Green New Deal. What are you doing? Go to bed.
Build your own bill, child. And then I shut the stream down.
I guess you should vote for Trump. Signing off now. I don't know. This is malarkey.
I may have said that. Go back and watch it. I don't know what I said. All right, so this is from Randy. Randy, thank you so much for supporting the show. Please tell me you both saw the clip of Joe Biden talking about having hairy legs, how he would get swimming pools, kids rub his hairy legs till they turn blonde, and how of course.
That must be old. We read your mind.
We read your mind, Randy. I knew someone was going to ask me this.
The hair will be blonde, and now I get roaches. Did he mean roaches like pot, or did he mean like literal roaches?
Roaches.
Like
bugs.
So they crawled around too while he was lifeguarding?
Yeah.
What a freaking weirdo.
It was like a William S. Burroughs short story. That's what that was. That's what that was.
If you read Naked Lunch or listen to a Joe Biden speech, you learn the same amount of information.
They make the same amount of sense.
You'll be way more entertained by Naked Lunch.
Yeah, if you want to know Joe Biden's policy, just read Naked Lunch.
Read Naked Lunch.
And that'll make sense.
Yeah, and it's also time-stamped in the same way.
Yeah.
It's also...
So Joe Biden
that's the era Joe Biden is living in.
Right. Where he's going to push for tax breaks for mugwump jizz. That's a Naked Lunch reference. Boom. Who's the actor who played him in the movie? Peter
Weller.
Peter Weller. Thank you so much.
Who could probably play Joe Biden pretty well.
Peter Weller would be he's my choice for the Joe Biden story.
We got to write this.
The Jet Lag Joe. That's the name of the movie.
Jet Lag Joe.
How
malarkey movie.
The no malarkey bus makes John McCain look middle-aged. Like he had the Straight Talk Express.
Yeah, this makes John McCain look like a young hipster.
Malarkey. Holy.
Yeah, that by comparison, that's like John McCain is like on a scooter with a vape pen and a man bun. That's the equivalent.
The campaign was just like, get off my lawn isn't original enough. We got to go. Let's do no malarkey and let's not let him talk often. Someone's asking him a question. Somebody get over there. Wave your hands or something.
I think what this campaign should do, and if anyone from his campaign is watching, release a press statement saying Joe Biden is stepping out. He's done. He's stepping down. And then just have Biden don't tell Joe that he's out. Just have him walk, just bring him into rooms with people. And Joe, this is a big fundraiser. He won't know the difference.
Yeah, just give him a microphone.
Yeah, just give him a microphone and, build.
Even if everyone prior to him was doing karaoke, he won't know. He'll just talk about stuff.
And just build a fake campaign trail village like the Prisoner show and just have him live in it and give campaign speeches and debates and just give him poll numbers and tell him he's in the mix and
have him endorse somebody who's not Bernie Sanders. Bernie doesn't need that baggage.
No, don't.
Have him endorse Pete Buttigieg. In fact, you know what? Gavin Newsom.
Yes!
I don't say this often, but thank you. I actually wrote a very kind letter to Iowa, and I said, hey, Iowa, I know Gavin Newsom's going to endorse Kamala Harris. Not trying to be a dick, but do you mind keeping both of them? Iowa said, no, I don't blame you, Iowa. I know that was a lot to ask. But, yeah, Gavin, thank you, buddy. I don't don't say that often. I said it for net neutrality. Thank you for that. And there's a couple other things where I was like, okay, you did the right thing there. But endorsing Kamala, way to go. He didn't even get all the way to Iowa. If he was driving to Iowa, he wouldn't have got there in time. I hope he flew. He wouldn't have gotten there in time.
Boy, the Gavin Newsom endorsement is so powerful.
Right?
He endorses, the next day she drops out. So Gavin endorsed Biden, then endorsed Warren,
then endorsed
Buttigieg.
Just endorse them all, Gavin. Yeah. Gavin, and then, man, thank you. Good job,
so
buddy.
Much. Thank you, buddy. Just the Gavin Newsom, boy, he's got the Midas touch.
It's the Newsom nuke. That's what it is to a campaign. Oh man, we gotta. Yeah, all right, that's got to trend too.
Oh God, I was gonna cut this video earlier, but this is staying in the clip.
Gavin Newsom endorses
Kamala campaign.
She drops out the next day. If he was driving, he wouldn't have even gotten to Iowa in time.
This is a slightly older reference, but he's like the Ted McGinley of endorsements. Ted McGinley, for those of you younger viewers, he would join long-running TV series, and then the show would get canceled. Like he joined Happy Days at its end, got canceled. Like Love Boat, whatever, Laverne and Shirley. Anytime Ted McGinley joined a show, it got canceled. And he's a tall, good-looking guy, just
Henry
like
Winkler got all the lines, and then the show just got canceled.
Yeah, the term "jump the shark."
Yeah,
that was the Ted McGinley. That was the last season of Happy Days where Ted McGinley joined the show.
That was the last season when that happened?
I believe so. Or second to last. Yeah, right in there.
Because like eventually it just became the Fonzie show. I remember that. Like it just became like Ralphie was, or not, who was the main guy?
Richie.
He left.
Richie pretty much left. He was gone. He was doing other stuff.
Started making movies.
Yeah. And then Ralph and the other, Potsy? Was that the other dude?
Yeah.
So the three of them were gone. The sister was gone, and it was just the Fonzie show. And it was like, all right.
Joni Loves Chachi was the spinoff, and then they brought in Ted McGinley. He's a tall, good-looking guy, and he is the Gavin Newsom of TV. Well, Gavin Newsom is the Ted McGinley of politics.
Yeah, we'll go with that. I like that better.
Gavin Newsom. Oh, he's got such pearly white fake teeth. So,
if Newsom says yes, you get a new gig.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Like and subscribe and share these videos out there, and make sure you hit the subscribe button. They're unsubscribing people, and hit the bell notification. Let's go to some more super chats. 276 people watching. Balthazar228. Thank you, Balthazar. Unfortunately, most of hashtag KHive will go to Peter Mames, Bourgeoisie's Cult of Senior Citizens aerobics instructors. Finger S. King bad. Joe Warren T is void, or Corey's not in the White House. Yeah. Who's next? Like, who do you think drops out next? Should we have a pool?
Oh, yeah, we should totally have a pool. Yeah, let's make it like a March Madness type thing. I think it might be Joe. Well, I mean, if we're being literal, it's going to be someone like Delaney, or it's going to be like a no-name. It's going to be one of them.
Okay, aside from obviously the obvious no-namey people that are just like, of the 6 main people left, 7, 8 people left. Who was on the stage for there's 10 people on the stage for the last one?
Yeah. And there's 6 who have made it so far.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think Steyer or whatever, he's just doing a stunt.
Of course.
Like it's just a
so is
ridiculous
Bloomberg.
stunt. So is Bloomberg.
Well, Bloomberg's just trying to get, his ties to Trump and Epstein not discussed. Mm-hmm. So he's just running this ridiculous presidential thing.
And they're both probably a little bored. I mean, you know, all that money. What are you going to do with it?
What are you going to do?
It's just going to...
Epstein's Island is shut down, so there's not much more for you to do.
So I would say Yang might be next, but his supporters really just came to his aid big time. So I think he's going to try.
So he's just getting more grassroots donations?
He is.
Okay.
Yeah. He's got his following, and then they're showing up for him. So I think he's got to stick it out as long as he can for them, and I think he would, or he will. I don't know, man. Maybe it's going to be one of the billionaires next, I think. Because they're just going to realize how stupid this is, or they're just going to move on to other things, or they're just going to, I think it'll be I think it'll be Bloomberg next.
He just got in.
That's my guess. I know.
Good.
I know, but I think he's going to be next. Because I mean, Buttigieg still has a ton of donor support behind him.
Well, yeah, he's got
and some of it's coming
Facebook,
from Hollywood. He's
Silicon
got
Valley.
Facebook. He's
Yeah.
got Silicon Valley. He's got probably deeper ties we don't even know about.
Yeah, CIA.
And he does have some people who honestly were fooled by him. There are some people who are fooled by this guy.
I think the fooled by him are starting to thin out because
I hope so.
what's happening on social media, him being called out, that article that we did last week about Pete Buttigieg's Alliant and MF, that called him out. The Onion thing that has been thousands and thousands of retweets and likes on this Onion article. And so I think Buttigieg he might be our next dropout.
Really? See, I have a feeling it's going to come down to, I think the final four, it's going to be Biden, Warren, Buttigieg, Bernie. That's what I think the finals four is going to be.
Yeah, it's interesting. I know Tulsi has said she's in it till the convention, but I think Bernie's going to. I think he should name her as his VP once the elections start going.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. All right, let's get to some more super chats. Krillin at 876. Boom. Thank you for supporting the show. Shave your knuckles for justice. Ron, what drugs do they put in Cat Temptations?
Cat Temptations? Oh, I don't know. That is not my my treat brand of choice typically. Lucy likes the greenies, so she usually has those. And then sometimes I use her prescription stuff as well. They make treat versions of those, which I forget exactly what brand that is because I get it right from my vet. But I know it's not Cat Temptations.
Good cat question.
LucyandRon.com.
You got your own
Lucy and
website.
Ron comic.
Nice. George Allen, shave your knuckles for justice. Good riddance to candidate Kamala. Now let's ditch a few more. Absolutely, George. Polly Foo-Foo. Shave your knuckles for justice. Graham, where can I get that shirt? Love you guys.
That's a cool shirt.
I got this when Ron and I were on tour in Texas. I got this. This is the DSA in Dallas, Fort Worth. This is their T-shirt. They gave me one. So go to the DSA website in Dallas, Fort Worth. They may sell this if you donate to them or whatever. We've talked about this before. The Democratic Socialists of America, they've come to many of our live shows on the road. And the state that has opened the most DSA branches has been Texas. Another reason to show why Bernie can win Texas and beat Trump head to head. Like,
and if Texas goes blue, it's over.
It's over.
It's completely over.
It's over. Because if you make Texas blue, then you get all the standard blue states. You don't even need all of the purple ones then at that point.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you need some of them.
Because you're going to get California, you're going to get New York, and you have Texas too?
And now you've got Illinois, you'll get Wisconsin, Michigan.
Yeah.
You know, you'll probably get Ohio, maybe get Florida. Like,
you're probably going to get PA back.
You're going to get Pennsylvania back, of course, because you're going to campaign there.
Yeah, you're going to show up there.
Yeah, you might actually go there. So, yeah, that's where you get that. That's where you get that shirt. And support your local DSA. I do. I'm a member of DSA Los Angeles. Balthazar 228. Thank you so much, dude. You support the show a lot. I really appreciate it. Do you think Peter Douche has finally come around, or is he simply following the most probable candidate until HRC makes her entry into the race? No, Peter Dow is now backing Bernie.
Yeah.
So what do you think of that? What do you think of, because obviously he was mocked so much in 2016 that our friend Pat created the Peter Douche account,
right,
which is hilarious.
He's so funny.
He's so fun. Pat the burner.
Now it's Nate's liver. He changed it to Nate's liver because Peter Dow reached out to him and wanted to kind of, build a bridge, and he accepted. So, and I personally was blocked by Peter Dow. I am no longer blocked by Peter Dow. I'm curious, man. He's one of those guys I would like to talk to him directly and just sort of, pick his brain about it. Be like, dude, look, man. I mean, I will say this. When the guy talks about how a bunch of the Hillary people come after him now, I personally, and I know some people might disagree with this, I don't feel sorry for him. Because to me, that's like Frankenstein turning on Victor. I'm sorry. Like that guy, he sowed a lot of, he was very combative in 2016, incredibly. And any criticism of Hillary was sexist and this and that.
He played that.
He was the big architect of that. The biggest architect, arguably. And now all of a sudden he's changed his tune. Now, who am I to tell somebody they can't change, or who am I to determine whether someone made a genuine change or not? I can only make an assessment to the best of my ability. So I hope it's sincere, because now he's helping out some grassroots people who I want to see succeed. You know, so
I mean, I'll say this: I don't know the man personally.
Yeah, I don't either.
I only know his public thing, and again, I agree with you totally. I mean, look, Hillary people are coming after you. Hey, brother, live by the sword, die by the sword.
Totally.
You did this. Like, if I suddenly turned on Bernie and said I was backing Buttigieg, and all of the viewers of this show came after me, I wouldn't be like, oh, it's not nice.
I did the high hopes dance on a surfboard, and it changed everything.
So, you know, hey man, you got to own that. You said all that, like you said, all that identity politics, all those things that were really insulting to people like us.
Oh, totally.
You know, any criticism of Hillary.
Oh, and it was even more insulting to people who weren't us.
Right.
Because, you know, like the archetype Bernie bros, that's us. It's even more insulting to all the people of color who supported
all
Bernie
the women
and still do support Bernie. All the women who supported
Right.
Bernie and still do. It's even more insulting to the people who aren't white dudes.
Right. So you have to own that. Now, that being said, you know, you just got to suck up and own that. Is he, as is anyone, capable of changing? And I want to believe that he is. I want to believe that he's really like, man, maybe I messed up. Maybe I really blew it. Maybe I'm talking to more and more people that are slowly kind of waking up to the like Trump derangement syndrome. They're kind of waking up from that fog. They're waking up to the like, they're more of them who maybe 4 years ago, even 2 years ago, maybe even a year ago, still thought Hillary would have been a great president. And they're starting to step back and see how broken the whole system is. And I've talked to a lot of people like, man, look, I voted for Hillary, but I think we needed Trump. I'm talking to more and more people about that. And so could he be one of those people? Yeah, I think he could be. We'll find out.
Yeah,
Look,
well, and in fairness to him, I will say this, and again, like the disclaimer you gave, of course, applies to me too. Don't know him personally. I'm going all of this by his public persona.
That's all I can go off.
He hasn't shied away from what he was. You know, like he's up front where he's just like, this was who I was, and I have changed, and this is why. So, you know, I really hope it's sincere. I don't have any reason to believe it's not, other than just the fact that it's like, well, gee, you know, he's not getting a paycheck now. So there is that. But, you know, I certainly want to believe it's sincere.
Yeah, I mean, look, it'll be obvious. I mean, like if Hillary jumps in the race and he's like, I'm all in for Hillary, then we just know this was just a whatever. But as it stands now, I take the man at his word. I'm not going to... like I said, I don't feel sorry for the fact he's taking crap for all that. You know, he said all that shit, so he's got to own it. Yeah. But is he waking up to the reality that maybe Bernie actually, you can't, if you're not on the payroll, and that's a great point you make. He's not on the payroll anymore. So he doesn't have to, and also the Clinton mystique is kind of starting to come unraveled now. There's that book of her former staffers that said the Russia Gate was concocted 24 hours after the election. That's out. Her staffers are turning on her. Not Burn Bros, not people in our world, but inside her world, they're going, nope. The Tulsi Gabbard thing, we watched it, we talked about it when CNN went, geez, when these like corporate Democrats.
Hillary Clinton united the country with everyone pointing out what an unhinged lunatic she is.
Right.
That's how she united everybody.
She got libertarians and center-right people to go, oh, I'm on board with Tulsi.
Yeah,
she got,
even the Democratic, I mean, hey, to her credit, even Kamala Harris was like, okay, that's her opinion. All right. I really want to hate Tulsi because she really handed me my lunch, but okay, easy.
Right.
Hillary, easy.
Yeah, everyone went, wait a minute. So are you saying a sitting congresswoman is a Russian asset, a member of the Army National Guard that's a major?
Even Beto O'Rourke had a good moment.
I know.
She gave Skateboard Magoo, who, by the way, isn't even the best skateboarder in the election. Andrew Yang is. He can't even claim that. Andrew Yang skated circles around him. Literally, if you watch that video, Andrew Yang can actually skateboard pretty well. And but even he had a great moment there. He had a great response to that.
Yeah. And so maybe, because if you work within the Clinton organization, I'm sorry, there's no way mean, even Stephanopoulos, all of them have come away going, man, I thought I was backing, and you can't not see the corruption and the way the Clintons do business, the way they turn on people, the way they just say and do whatever they got to do to get power. You can't not see that if you're working up close with them. When you work up close with somebody, you see who they are. You see who they are. So maybe because the Clinton mystique and the corporate Democrats and the corporate media even called out Hillary's insanity, maybe Peter Dow finally went, wow, maybe it's finally safe for me. Because that's the other thing, too. The Clintons operate on fear. They operate on scare tactics, and you better watch out, and we're going to come get you. They play hardball. So now maybe it's like, well, they don't have the juice that they had anymore, because if neither one of them are in public office, there's no reason for these countries to donate to the foundation. The Clinton Foundation is all about
helping people.
Oh, wow. I really booked the wrong guest this week.
This is how we learn.
This is, yeah. It is all about helping people. And by people, you mean like Middle Eastern countries. Yeah, banks and people.
Banks are people.
Yeah, and the 20 countries that donated to the Clinton Foundation, and then when she became Secretary of State, they all got defense contracts, like helping people like that.
Graham, who do you think stays at luxury hotels? People.
Right.
Rich ones, but they're people.
Yes, Haiti needed luxury hotels after a horrible natural disaster, not housing and social services.
Have you seen the Yelp reviews? Through the roof.
So, yes, I hope that answers your question. We both think Peter Dowd is actually being sincere and maybe had a legitimate change of heart, or maybe he's not afraid of being taken out by the Clintons. And right now, I take him at his word.
We hope that he changed.
So that's what we think about Peter Dowd.
We had a beer with him.
He's a good guy. Got money from the banks. I don't know what impression I'm doing, but I'm just doing an old guy's voice.
I'm trying to do Obama.
You're doing Obama.
I'm doing Obama.
I'm just
it's not
doing,
great.
I could be doing Wilford Brimley. Who knows what I'm doing?
Obama and Wilford Brimley having a beer. I'll take it.
I like oatmeal. I like beer. I like catheters. I don't know. That's Wilford Brimley's new ad campaign is catheters. I think he rides in on a horse. Anyway.
I'm doing a Netflix series on catheters.
Oh, Netflix for catheters. All right. Go see us on the road, everybody. GrahamElwood.com or RonPlacone.com. December 13th, we're in Ventura. December 14th, we are in Hollywood. And in 2020, we got a bunch of tour dates.
Tons of tour dates already announced, and we're announcing more. Midwest, we're coming. Just confirmed Milwaukee and Chicago.
Ooh.
Those were recently confirmed. First part of the year, Tucson, Arizona, San Francisco, California. Get those tickets now.
302 people watching. Please, please, please hit the like button, subscribe, and send this out on your social media. Epstein isn't dead. What? He committed suicide. Why would you even bring that up? Don't you trust your media? Hey, brother. Received the first mining grant allowed by Haiti in about 45 years. I'm not sure if I understand that. Okay, Elvis is alive too. Oh, wow.
Dude, if anyone's still out there, it's Jim Morrison.
It's Jim Morrison.
It's the only plausible one that it's like that dude might still be out there.
He's out there. Jim Morrison is out there. He's just, he's renting jet skis in Cabo or something like that.
He's at a farm in Oregon.
Yeah. Also, just so you know, Action for Assange is the moderator. So anybody starts getting out of line,
cool.
A4A is going to lock you up, put you in PV jail. So let's go back to some more super chats. Proudfoots, thank you so much for supporting the show. With a Bernie-style donation, Obama ran on hope things will change. Now he's counseling voters not to hope for change. Yeah, that was unreal. I did a video on it. I know you did. We all did videos on that leaked information from his staff saying Obama is going to actively block Bernie.
Which makes sense. I mean, whenever he's come back into the political spotlight, what has he done? Well, here in California, he endorsed Dianne Feinstein. That's what he's done. He wags his finger at voters. man, he showed us who he always was.
I mean,
he really showed us.
Within a month of being out of office, or 2 months or something like that, he took some $400,000 speaking engagement with Cantor Fitzgerald.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. He just gave the banks all the money they wanted, let people lose their homes, and then now I'll keep getting on that payroll. And he actively, and I made this distinction in my video, because some people are like, well, he can endorse whoever. No, he didn't endorse. It's one thing if he said, look, I'm going to endorse this candidate.
Yeah, he
over
endorsed
Bernie.
anyone but Bernie.
Anyone but Bernie. I'm going to
literally what he
actively
did.
try to stop him. So you're going to help rig the primary?
And you have to ask yourself why. Okay, like, oh, he can endorse whoever he wants, and we have to embrace different viewpoints. Okay, does he have an issue with Bernie because of policies, or does he have an issue with Bernie, and this is the real answer, because it affects his quote-unquote legacy?
Yeah.
Because that's what this is about, and this is a guy who cares more about his own ego. And, and a lot of people feel that same way, because this is all about, like, these are people who, at the end of the day, they're still going to be rich.
Right.
They're still going to be filthy rich. They don't have to worry about not being able to afford a prescription. They don't need to worry about going into crippling debt for college. They don't need to worry about being able to go to a doctor. They don't need to worry about their food culture. They don't have to worry about any of that stuff. They're still going to be rich. So it's all a game to them, and it's all about their ego. And, man, Obama, it's weird that your legacy is tied to Mitt Romney's health care plan. Why didn't you at least have an original plan if you're so worried about your legacy?
Yeah. First of all, you bought a $15 million home on the East Coast or whatever. Secondly, look, enjoy the legacy that you passed gay marriage. I'll give Obama credit for that.
Totally.
It's a great thing. Good for you. You passed that. But,
Guys, remember who pushed him to do that?
Who?
Grandpa Joe.
Grandpa Joe.
They give him credit for that, but I mean, Obama was speaking about that. Like the timeline, they were like, well, Joe said it officially in public first, but it's like, dude, Obama was pretty much there too. In public opinion is what really pushed him there.
Yeah, the public pressured him to make it happen. And great, that's a great thing to have a legacy for. But I'm sorry, Obama, the numbers are the numbers. You took us from 2 wars to 7. You dropped more bombs than Bush. You let 5.2 million foreclosures happen. Sorry, that happened on your watch. Those numbers you can't change those.
I can't change it, but I can tell the left to chill out when they see them. Just chill out when you see those numbers.
Yeah, and he's all about, all that. I'm just so tired of this crap. All this like, oh, the Republicans gerrymander and voter suppress. Yes, they absolutely do. But you, a former 2-term president, are actively going to block the populist, progressive, democratic, socialist candidate? Man, get out of here. And a month prior, he's like, I'm going to support, anyone who gets the nomination. It's going to be all hands on deck to get Trump. What are you going to do then if Obama? So what you're saying is, I will back anyone that goes against Trump and except Bernie. So I will make sure Bernie doesn't get the nomination so I don't look like a hypocrite in the general. Mm-hmm. That's what you're saying. So full of shit. All right, Frank Friel. Shave your knuckles for justice. Why doesn't anyone remember that creepy Biden had to drop out of the 2008 presidential race because he insinuated Obama was a well-spoken for black man? Oh, yeah. Well, that was the clip I was trying to find, Frank, of where Biden said that. He said the black men should wear condoms and black women shouldn't, like...
Oh, yeah.
Have as much sex to stop AIDS. It was some horrible, awful thing. And he said this in the 2008 primary. It's like, and you see him on stage, and there's Hillary, and there's Obama, and he's saying that crazy stuff. Why is he? It's like
he's been on the wrong side of everything.
Everything,
including gay marriage. By the way, he was. You can find plenty of footage of him in the debates going against gay marriage until public opinion demanded he not be. But I mean, yeah, this guy, he has been on the wrong side of literally everything.
I've done videos on it where you show Biden's 94 Senate floor speech in favor of the Biden crime bill. It is so offensive.
You can find speeches of him in favor of a border wall. You can find speeches of him talking about how he wants to sell himself to the highest bidder because that's what politics is all about. You can find, footage of him going against single-payer health care. You can find footage of him just throwing in the towel completely. But you know what? He's got leg hair.
Oh, he's got creepy leg hair.
He's got creepy leg hair.
But we all want to envision Joe Biden in wet in a pool, right?
That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, that's the campaign slogan I want. Is there a photo of him? What? No, don't.
Or
find
maybe
that.
in a plaid shirt and jeans, talking about how he's born to do this.
Oh God.
Can we get a Baywatch style slow-mo running sequence?
Slow-mo Joe Biden Baywatch running style. By the way, that mysterious
You made me
voice-
the first person to Google this. That's exciting.
Those words have never
start a
been
new
put
trend.
together. That's Aaron Brungart, the producer here at All Things Comedy. That's who the voice is that you hear chime in. He's also the producer on the Comedy Film Nerds podcast. December 12th, we're doing our 600th and final episode. It's a live show. It's at the Dynasty Typewriter in Hollywood. Come out to that show. It's a lot of fun. Jimmy and Steph Zamaran are going to be there. Ron's going to be there. And a bunch of other film nerds come out for that show. Balthazar 228. Oh, Balthazar. Graham, can you tell Ron how long it took you to check out Streamlabs on an alternative? Graham isn't even using the full power of its services yet. Yes, Ron. I use Streamlabs. It's been great. I really like using it. I get money through PayPal.
I think Balthazar invented Streamlabs.
I think
that's his secret.
I think he's actually a robot living inside of Streamlabs.
It's got, yeah.
Well,
we met him in person otherwise.
Did we, though?
Did we, though?
Did we see an ID? Can we know?
Yeah.
I think
good
the
point.
AI living inside Streamlabs just hired...
Just sent a dude.
He
found that dude on Craigslist. Was like, go to this show.
Yeah.
Say you're this
Say
person.
you're this person. Make these jokes.
So if we ever meet
And
him
I'll
again,
pay you
we're gonna
via
have to like
Streamlabs.
we're gonna be like, name like 10 super chats that you did. Prove you're not a Streamlabs robot.
Or we cut his skin and see if it opens up and there's like, robot stuff there.
There's like robot stuff.
Yeah.
No, you got to have a handful of photos and say which one of these have palm trees.
Is that from Memento? What's
Like
that?
the
Is that like an AI thing?
The captcha thing, yeah.
They can't ID palm trees?
Oh.
Well, they can't ID anything if you tell them only the photos with these in them.
Oh, right.
It's a
like
thing we
a
have to click
CAPTCHA,
all the
like
time.
a real life captcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, do that, yeah.
All right. That's what we're going to do. We found you out, Balthazar. You're like a Terminator. Sent from the future. 315 people watching. Hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Thumbs up on that like. These guys are weak. They are dumb enough to march themselves into your death cattle, sheep, livestock, peasants, slaves, nothing more. I don't know what that means.
I think those
Did he pay
are
to say
song
that?
lyrics. Or maybe they're playing shitty beat poetry or Joe Biden's speech. I'm going with Joe Biden's speech.
So
on
the
that
Joe
one.
Biden speech. Epstein is Mossad. Tulsi 2020. Bot check. I'm number 200. Like, nice. Right on. Hit the like button, everybody. Jana Kelton, what's up? We got some crazy bots.
Thank you guys for using the Newsome Nuke hashtag on Twitter. Appreciate it.
Nice. Is that trending?
A little bit.
Oh, sweet. Old Dave, shave your knuckles for justice, old Dave. You're making Gotham great again. Hey, buddy, any blue will do from Omaha. Oh, yeah. Any blue will do. They're so great. So, like, I just did a video.
Except for the blues they couldn't do, like Kamala Harris. See?
So any blue will do, like the 219 Democrats that voted to reauthorize the Patriot Act?
Yeah, that was cool.
Like those
That was
ones?
great.
That was great. They're fantastic. Let's see. Balthazar 228. Boom. Gavin Newsom. Thank you, Balthazar. Great joke. That's the joke we're going to ask your AR replicant that you send to from the future to try to kill us.
But what if they just program that AI replicant to just make puns? And that would explain Balthazar a lot.
But then we do the palm tree photo thing. Like
Yeah,
Graham
we
was
gotta
talking
do the
about. So we
captcha.
have a
That's our
lot
only
of
option.
I got a lot of backups here. We're gonna suss out this AI.
Guys, it doesn't have to be palm trees. You're latching on the wrong thing. It could be school buses, sidewalks.
What about a
traffic
bus?
lights?
What about a school bus under
It could
a
be
palm
like
tree?
traffic signs and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
We could just take them out on the street and we could be like, let us know when you don't see a stop sign. And then it's like,
You can't do it.
what? I mean, I don't see, you guys see what? No, there's one right there. You're a robot.
I don't know. I think it has to be palm trees. I mean, I hate to harp on this, but I really feel like it should be
And
palm
then we
trees.
got to get this guy out to a show in California. Just take him for a walk.
Send your AR to our shows in Florida, coming in 2020.
There you go. March 2020.
We are in Orlando and Miami, and I'm working on this week locking down a venue for Tampa. Balthazar 228. Richie was Ron Howard. Yes, that is correct. From Happy Days, Richie was Ron Howard. Ron Howard.
See, a robot totally could have just spit that out.
Any robot could have looked that up on IMDb. Ron Howard starting directing movies. That's why he left. He directed the movie.
He's directed a bunch of stuff.
Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto. That was his first directorial. That was his directorial debut, Grand Theft Auto, which is a fantastic movie. Harry C. Smith. Shave your knuckles for justice. You guys hear AOC out fundraise Pelosi this quarter by $200,000 without picking up a phone to beg for bankers cash a single time. Pelosi 100% defunct. Oh, Harry, this is good news. And I think this is the trend we're starting to see. This is why I am cautiously optimistic. There's a lot of bad stuff. There's a lot of, but it feels like, and I say it's all tied in. So the AOC out fundraising Pelosi just because AOC is being authentic.
Yeah. What do you have to say to that, capitalist?
Yes.
What are you going to do now?
Yeah. What are you going to do now? Because AOC is so skilled on Twitter. She built up a grassroots following. And what we're seeing, the Kamala dropping out, the Hillary getting taken out by Tulsi, the AOC and everybody backing Bernie. And I, more people are paying attention, and I believe this is tied to the 12 or so countries that are having protests. Now there's
absolutely.
Yeah, it's a global rejection of neoliberal corporate capitalist nonsense. Everyone's done with it. The arguments in these countries, there's specifics that are different or unique, but the overall theme is the same.
Yeah.
A group of elites control all the money and power. They're corrupt. They're absolutely corrupt, and they're not held accountable at all.
Yeah, and the have-nots are sick of it, and we have a freaking planet to save.
Yes. Like in Chile, the public transportation rates just went up. That was the spark.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of people poured in the street and said, we're done with this. You raised our public transportation. And it wasn't even a lot. It was like 50 cents or something like that. And then everyone else said, yeah, and this and this. That's what happened in France a year ago.
Yeah.
Right? That's what is happening in Lebanon, in Iraq. You know, like people are like done. They're done with it. Even in the countries where it's like, you know, the CIA is toppling people or whatever, there's still some of the protest is like, yeah, we're done with this corrupt oligarchy. We're tired of this crap.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
And I think AOC outfunding Pelosi is showing you the power of this. It's why, Kamala dropping out. I'm not a billionaire. Well, neither is Bernie, and he doesn't need billionaires. He doesn't take any super PAC money. He doesn't take any corporate money. Liz Warren, well, I'm not going to, but then I will a little bit.
But then I will, because it's all hands on deck.
Yeah, I'm not for unilateral disarmament. What does that mean, Looney Tune? Just say you're going, yes, you're going to take corporate money because you're a sellout, or no, you actually have integrity. Just pick one of those.
Can you please, if you are supporting Elizabeth Warren, watch the video of her where she gets heckled and just stands there like a deer in headlights and can't do anything until Ariana Presley comes and rescues her. I mean, I'm sorry. I know that's one for instance, but you expect her to beat Trump? Like, I mean, that you're living in a fantasy.
I know.
If you think she's sincere, and B, even if she was, if you think she has any chance in hell to beat Trump, there's no way.
Especially if you take that and stack it up against saying, I'm not going to take corporate money in the primary, but I will in the general, just shows you that she's wishy-washy. I've signed on to give Trump an extra $80 billion for the war machine in October 2017. I stood when Trump said this will never be a socialist country. It'll always be capitalist. I can't tell you specifically what my Medicare for All plan is. When you stack all those things up with the fact that she just went, oh, a heckler. She's not who you want. She's not a leader. She's not going to lead. I'm not going to go on Fox News. You can't be president of half of the country.
People, especially general voters, they really like strength and conviction.
Yes.
They really like it. So, why was John Kerry unable to beat George W. Bush, who was grossly unpopular and deservedly? I mean, George W. Bush was a disaster beyond comprehension. And even in 2004, people knew what he was. They knew Iraq was a lie. they were starting to see through him. Not as much as in the end, but it was
Right.
there was enough that a strong opposition could have beaten him. Why didn't John
even
Kerry
Ellen wasn't
beat him?
hanging out with him?
Huh?
Even Ellen wasn't hanging out with him yet.
Yeah.
Ellen wasn't buddies with him
She
yet.
wasn't really like up to speed on her CIA asset.
They weren't buddies yet. But John Kerry, what was the big thing? Flip-flop guy.
Right.
That was the big thing on him. Warren, they would be able to do the same thing. And voters just don't like that. That's why people are connecting with Bernie. He's strong in what he says. He's been saying the same thing for 40 years. And you try to scare people away with the big socialism buzzword, but when you cut through that nonsense, that BS, like scapegoating devil term that makes, is just ridiculous, people just see it as a good policy that would make their lives better.
Look what happened when he did the Fox Town Hall.
Yeah.
And the Fox News people were coming at him hard. He didn't go, oh, and then have Nina Turner come up and speak for him. He'll be able to go into the reddest of red states, Texas, as we've talked about. And when people go, you're a socialist, he'll go, hold on. Let me tell you something. No, I'm not. Here's why. You think I'm going to be like the Soviet Union? No, that's not what I'm talking about. Do you have a fire department? Do you have a police department?
Yeah.
Do you have parks? He'll explain it because Bernie has been saying the same thing for 3 decades, if not longer.
Yeah.
And he's not going to back down.
And technically, he is a social democrat anyway, so he's not,
Yes, he's a centrist in Western Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he's going to sit there and go, look, I'm just going to give you more things that you are already getting. Like, what do you want? Do you want the fire department to be run like the healthcare industry? I'm sorry, Ron, your insurance doesn't cover 7th floor, a 2nd story fire protection. So we're going to put out the fire on the 1st floor of your 2-story home, but the 2nd floor, your insurance doesn't cover it. So if you have any family up there, I hope they can jump.
Mm-hmm.
You start talking in those terms, the fire department's only going to come to the rich neighborhoods. They're only going to come to Donnie Deutsch's house or Ron Johnson, that Republican from Milwaukee who said that health care and food is a privilege.
If you have a fire for $5,000, they'll take the truck. But otherwise, they're on foot, because your insurance just doesn't cover the truck.
Or we'll put out your fire at your house no matter what, but you're going to get a bill.
Oh, yeah, you're getting a bill.
Do you want a $10,000 bill to put out we saved your family?
A dude running with a bucket of water is covered. Anything else, that's coming out of your deductible.
Well, the first thing is, so you have a fire, but it might be a hazmat fire. So first I need you to get your primary firefighter to sign off that you're going to need a specialist firefighter to come with the hazmat gear. Does that make sense to you?
Well, because then the insurance industry decides whether that hazmat thing is necessary.
Right, because you might not be, so the hazmat crew might, so they'll send the hazmat crew, but if they discerned it wasn't necessary, like maybe it was just a can of paint and it wasn't serious chemicals, so then you're responsible for the hazmat crew coming to your house, even though it wasn't really needed, but the primary care firefighter that you went to first. Now, meanwhile, your house is burning when this is all
your
happening.
house is burned down by now, and your premium's going up next year.
Okay, good. And you're not qualified for firefighter insurance.
This is the best firefighting in the world, though.
We have the best firefighters in the world.
This is called freedom, is what this is.
Do you want to have firefighters like Denmark?
Yeah, they're happy firefighters. You want that?
Use that analogy the next time somebody says we don't need Medicare for all. Use the analogy we just did about firefighting.
The whole thing.
Verbatim. All of it. And say I look pretty. Not me, just you. I want you to have better self-confidence who's ever watching. I just want you to look in the mirror and say, I feel pretty.
And then say #JetLagJoe.
I want you to wake up every morning, look in the mirror and say #JetLagJoe. And then say, but Greta, you should be shaving your face with oil, Greta. Use a razor made from coal, Greta. 316 people watching, Ron. Balthazar 228, thanks for supporting the show. How was Weird Al not done? It's the vinyl countdown. Get your news on with Ron. #Music Mondays.
Love it.
All right, Balthazar.
It's the vinyl countdown.
It's the vinyl countdown.
Tweet it Weird Al. Ask him to get on that.
I will get so on that. 320 people watching. What's up? in the regular chat. How you regular chatters doing? By the way, times out are annoying. LOL. Ha ha ha. Graham. Thank you. Propaganda. Graham is hot. Thank you. Evil Majam. CIA is stupid. I am smart, so no bots here. I feel pretty and witty. Good. Good, you guys.
Make sure when you're in that, look in the mirror in the morning, that you hold up several different photos and have to point out which one has a school bus in it. For, let's just say,
make
sure you're not a bot.
Yeah, that's a big point there. I cannot be more serious about this. Make sure you're not an AI.
Yeah.
Because if you were an AI, how would you know?
Right.
If you can't identify which photo has the school bus,
then you're a robot.
I prefer palm tree, but you know what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you might be a robot. Serious question.
Well, define school bus.
Look, I had a school bus and it had hair on it to turn blonde, and then I would rub it down, and I love when school buses jump in my lap.
Any bus can go by a school.
Oh no, Joe. No. Stop it. All right. Oh no, somebody just figured out they're an AI.
Oh man.
Graham and Ron, please talk about JTrig. Okay, so I'll bring up JTrig. I don't know that much about it, but JTrig, if I'm not mistaken, and again, I refer you to Susie's 1 versus 5i live streams that she's done. She stopped doing them. She's going to be doing that campaign in a different way, but the live streams. The JTrig, if I'm not mistaken, and Action for Assange can help with this as well, is the private intelligence people that train people to be... There's honeypots and all this stuff like that. And one of the things they do is try to infiltrate and disrupt. So like when you start to see some people in these live chats saying disruptive things because we've built a community here of progressives, and it's okay if we disagree on stuff and try to figure out solutions. But when they try to openly blow stuff up and cause problems, it really, and Action for Assange can go into this more. They, hold on, I'm looking at these right now. Yeah, so what this, yeah, like this, okay. Yeah.
So it's basically just like organized troll farms.
Yeah, organized troll farms. And one of the things they try to do is infiltrate activist movements and get them to fight within each other. Like someone will get involved and they'll seem like, wow, they're really down for the cause, but then they start being combative and fighting and try to divide the activist unit,
right?
The activist group. So they'll try to do it here like this. So we're all, they target, they advocate for violence, they try to conquer and divide and get people to do illegal things. Yeah.
Well, and they'll do stuff like that, especially because that could get the group as a whole in trouble.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you advocate for violence and then something happens, well, that's not, you know, depending on the situation, that might not even be protected speech. So then the group can be held liable for something this individual who was trying to bring down the group did.
Right. They could do that. Could try to pin that on me. And try to get this chat for me to say that or somebody to say that. And it's like, oh, Graham's advocating for violence. And I've always said, no, we need peaceful, nonviolent resistance.
Right.
I say that repeatedly. They try to get information from activists. It's Joint Threat Research Intelligence Group is the name of it. This is from Action for Assange, who works pretty closely with Susie Dawson. So
all those things they try to tell you only happens in Russia actually happens all around the world, and it happens in the United States an awful, awful lot. It happened to Occupy, and it happened to Black Lives Matter, and it happened to Dabble, and it'll happen to any movement that disrupts the status quo, online and off.
Yep. All right. You cannot block. Well, that's weird. I thought I could make you block. I'm sorry. I thought you could. You can just delete messages. Maybe I haven't updated the moderator. Manage moderators. Let's do that. Let me make that a thing. Yeah, here it is. Moderators. Yeah, you're a moderator, but I don't know what else to do. Hold permanent promo. All right. I thought you could do more than block people. Or I thought so you can just hide their timeouts? Okay. All right. Anyway, I'll try to figure that out. You can time them out. Okay. Well, yeah, put them in a timeout if they're being jackasses. And if somebody is really being a problem, point them out to me and I'll block them. So let's go. 331 people watching. I want to talk about this. So recently, hello everybody, welcome to the Political Vigilante. My name is Graham Elwood here with Ron Placone.
What up?
Boom shakalaka. So this just happened. I've done an interview. I showed the interview with Prince Andrew and how ridiculous it was. Then Virginia Roberts has done a response to that because, of course, he categorically denied ever meeting her, knowing her, and, he made all those excuses. I would never be caught in London without a sport coat and a tie. Whatever. My sweat glands, I lost them in the war. Whatever. He says all this crazy.
I only hang out with a grandmother who likes coal. That is my only friend.
So recently, Trump and a bunch of world leaders have just been invited to England.
What a party.
Great party.
Great
royal
people,
family.
Great people.
So
good
good.
food. Everybody
Such
who has
good
genuine
people.
intentions.
Good people. So here's what happened. This was reported, and I want to just show you this. NATO leaders
reception at Buckingham Palace welcoming leaders like Justin Trudeau. The event hosted by Queen Elizabeth Tuesday, marking the alliance's 70th anniversary. A royal family member not taking part? The Queen's second son, Prince Andrew, the Duke of York, who recently stepped back from his public duties amid allegations he had sex with a 17-year-old girl who was trafficked by Jeffrey Epstein. The U.S. financier found dead in a jail cell while being held on sex trafficking charges in August.
He knows what happened. I know what happened. And there's only one of us telling the truth, and I know that's me.
In a new interview that aired on BBC Monday night, Virginia Giuffre, now in her 30s, said she was forced to have sex with Prince Andrew. He denies the allegations.
I implore the people in the UK to stand up beside me, to help me fight this fight, to not accept this as being okay. This is not some sordid sex story. This is a story of being trafficked.
In response to the interview, Buckingham Palace said through a spokesperson that it is emphatically denied that the Duke of York had any form of sexual contact or relationship with her, and that any claim to the contrary is false and without foundation.
I have no recollection of ever meeting this lady.
Last month, the prince gave an interview himself to the BBC, which was widely billed as a disaster in the British media, in part because he didn't say he regretted his friendship with Epstein. And he cast doubt on the authenticity of a photo from nearly 2 decades ago, which shows him with his arm around Giuffre's waist. She told the BBC the picture was genuine.
I want to talk about this I want to break this down a little bit. First of all, he said, you can see his hand right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was trying to, in this interview, go, well, I'm not sure. Is that a hand? I mean, I do have a hand, but literally saying, I've never been upstairs. He's like, well, Ghislaine Maxwell or Epstein doesn't have a camera. All this crazy stuff. And there's several things to point out. And one of the things he said in the interview that I pointed out, and it's in I have a Jeffrey Epstein playlist, and it's probably my most recent one where I go through that interview and I break it down. One of the things he said, he goes, I told Jeffrey it wasn't appropriate for us to be seen together. After Epstein had already been convicted in Florida and all these he was it wasn't, oh my God. If he was trying to pretend like I had no idea. Once you find out a friend of yours has been arrested for raping a child, you don't go, wow, we can't be seen together. You go, hey, fuck you, man. We're done. I'm turning you in or something. You don't stay at his house for 4 days, right? And the other thing, too, that is really important in the Virginia, what she said, by imploring the British people, this isn't some tabloid scandal. Oh, breakup. So-and-so had an affair.
Right.
No. This is serious. This is hundreds, if not thousands of girls.
Yeah, she said it herself. This is trafficking.
Yes.
This is about trafficking.
And put pressure on the British government. They thought the arrogance of the royal family and just the ruling class in general, thinking they can say and do whatever they want. and get away with it. That interview was a disaster. It was great to see, like, this is how delusional they are, that they can just go on TV and say this bullshit. He was told clearly to distance himself from Buckingham Palace and to mainly put it on Ghislaine Maxwell. Well, I was friends with her and she just brought Jeffrey Epstein and I didn't know him. He was a +1, literally a quote. He said a +1. So the key here is we need to keep up the public pressure. The media and the ruling class who owns the media has been trying to make this go away. It won't. Last week, we showed those senators grilling the woman from the Bureau of Prisons. And the 2 guards have been indicted who fell asleep or whatever for 8 hours.
Right.
So we all need to keep pressure. And what Virginia Roberts Giuffre, I always mispronounce her married name, is making a great point. If you're British, if you live in the UK and you're a British citizen, put pressure on your government. I just tweeted out today, hey, FBI, the FBI seized all of these hard drives and files and photos from Epstein's Manhattan place and from his pedophile island, right? I don't know if they did the New Mexico one. I'm not sure, but I know those 2 places, they've seized all this evidence. So why isn't the FBI charged Prince William and Ghislaine Maxwell? They can.
Did the FBI get back to you?
No, they haven't.
Were they like, totes busy infiltrating DSA, GTG. I can't do this now.
But let's grab lunch for sure. Yeah, they did say totes busy, but...
Perfect.
So I've literally had thousands of people like that tweet, hundreds of people retweet it. Put pressure. And we said it last week. Call your senators. So if you're in America, pressure your lawmakers and the FBI here to get these people charged. And if you're in the UK, do it. Because this is ridiculous. But it gets worse, folks.
And she'd given it to the FBI. Back to NATO, Donald Trump was asked about the prince.
I don't know Prince Andrew, but it's a tough story. It's a very tough story. I don't know him, no.
But after those comments, photos of Trump were being circulated online, including some showing Trump and his then-girlfriend Melania with the prince and Epstein.
Okay. So a lot of Trump supporters say, yeah, but that's 20 years old. They were just at a party. They keep saying this thing. The thing the mainstream media doesn't talk about. Trump keeps getting these people arrested and investigated.
Oh.
Who's the head of the DOJ? William Barr? That's Trump's guy. And let me show you some other things. You think, oh, it's 20 years old? Well, there's this photo. Mr. Trump with Prince Andrew in June. What am I talking about? Day 2 of the U.S. state visit, the Duke of York. Minister Theresa May welcomed President Donald Trump, POTUS, to St. James Palace, June 4th, 2019.
Listen, I do not know Prince Andrew. I thought that guy's name was Joe. I always thought Prince Andrew was just a piercing that a guy could get on his genitals. I know nothing about anything.
I didn't know any of this. I just went there because I was told there was a tanning salon and a bag of Coke. Oh, look at there they are again. So he doesn't know that guy to the right of his wife. That's what Trump just said. I don't know him. It's just as preposterous.
He told me his name was Ralph.
So this is the thing to the Trump supporters I want to say. The Trump supporters that are like, Trump's the good guy. I hate to break it to you. He's a member of the ruling class. You are just as in the dark as the Clinton supporter. You can't sit there and tell me Bill Clinton, who was on his plane 26 times, said he was only on 4 times.
Well, what's the definition of on his plane?
Oh, right. It's
just
a
like
colloquial
the definition
term.
of is. I mean, we gotta flesh these things out.
On his plane could mean I had a sandwich.
I've easily misunderstood the question.
This is the lies of the ruling class, and Trump is I'm sorry. William Barr is the DOJ. How come he is not pressing charges against Prince Andrew that Trump claims to never have met or know?
He's standing a little bit further away. He was not in my line of vision. Again, he said his name was Ralph.
To be fair, Trump is a huge romantic. He can't see past the beauty of Melania.
I know.
I mean,
that's what it is.
You know, it's just
all I see
eye.
is the glow around my wife and the love that's in the room. That's why she won't even hold my hand. There's too much love there. Yeah, I'm sorry, but this is the ruling class, and Trump is part of the ruling class.
Oh, big time. I mean, the people who entertain this idea that Trump's some outsider, he's some good guy, like, come on. The only way Trump's an outsider is instead of the politician being bought, he was buying them. And that's by his own admission. Even he kind of fesses up to that.
It's just ridiculous. So, like, oh, but he fired Acosta. No, he fired Acosta because it became clear, Acosta was in on giving Epstein the sweetheart deal 10 years ago in Florida. And when that became public, Trump went, ooh, I better cut and run. Trump knows, just like Bill Clinton knows, that there is some damning stuff on those CIA evidence bins. So this is preposterous.
Yeah, this isn't a Democrat v. Republican thing. This is a ruling class and everyone else thing.
Yeah, when I
this
hear
is the haves and the have-nots.
When I hear conservatives say, these Democrats are pedophiles, what are you talking about? This is the ruling class. This is who they are. This is the royal family. There's the Saudi royal family that loves Trump and also loved Obama because we sold them a bunch of weapons. Like, call out the ruling class, man. Like you said, it's the ruling class versus everybody, and put pressure on the FBI, our lawmakers, your lawmakers in the UK, to press charges on these people. They need to be extradited to the United States. Or, look, if Prince Andrew had sex with Virginia Roberts on English soil, then the crime was committed there. And I'm sure he had sex with underage girls, let's call it what it is, raped children on American soil. There's girls and women that are being trafficked, and boys too, just in general. Epstein was all about girls, but there are boys and girls and men and women being trafficked right now today that these global elites it is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
That's the scariest
it's
part.
It's the worst.
It's just, who knows? We've only scratched the surface at best. And that scratching stopped because he, killed himself.
Sure.
And that's the thing that is just so hard to wrap one's head around, because it is just so, we're barely touching the tip of the iceberg. And this is a billion-dollar industry.
Global
industry.
And it is happening all throughout the United States. And we think it's just something that happens in these poor third world countries, and it's unfortunate, but they don't. No, it's happening right here in the U.S. It's happening in the UK. I've seen the modeling industry is inherently corrupt. Les Wexner, good buddies with Trump, runs Victoria's Secret. We know he was a pedophile Epstein buddy. We know that Epstein's modeling agencies, some of which of Trump's modeling agencies, were doing this goes beyond some ridiculous little red state, blue state feud.
Oh, far beyond that.
And the thing that's so horrifying about this, and I've talked about this before, what you're saying is so true. We are just scratching the surface. The media is going to try to make it seem like, Epstein, handful of bad apples.
Yeah. Well,
Prince Andrew, one little bad apple in the royal family. No.
That's the biggest thing here, man. Like, we all... you're kind of fed this thing that it's like, well, yeah, sure, that stuff happens, but these are just deviants who we're going to find and lock in prison, and they're just these no-name, horrible people. It's like, no. These are the people calling the shots that are running this place.
They're running this. It's like they look what they did with Penn State. Jerry Sandusky, one bad apple. No. Joe Paterno, the free report, FREAH report, Penn State University contacted Judge Freeh's law firm to do an independent study, and they found via emails, they had concrete evidence, Paterno and the administration knew about Sandusky for 13 years and did nothing. Why would they do that?
Well, there were people alligating stuff even further back than that.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Like going back
into the 90s.
Did you read that thing? I didn't read the whole thing, but it almost, dude, you start reading that thing and you might have a gag reflex.
It's horrifying.
It is painful. It is horrifying.
And they covered it up And you look at that. So they want you to think, oh, it's just this one coach, this one university, and we did know. No, you all knew, and you did nothing. And the other thing, and when I talked to my friend Eric Oldenburg, who's a former child crimes investigator, there's an interview I have with him that is in my Epstein playlist. It's an amazing interview. When the Penn State thing happened, he said to me, Graham, this is just the beginning. He was probably getting kids for alumni.
Oh my God.
That's what they do. That's what is happening here. This is the ruling class billionaire elites. It's not one little Catholic church. It's not one coach at one school or one teacher. No. These are the people in charge of everything, flying around on planes that don't have to go through border security, that don't have to go through customs, unmarked planes, landing on unknown runways, trafficking whatever they want. Because one of the things Virginia Roberts says, she goes, let me tell you something. Everybody knew. Pilots, doctors, butlers, security guards, everybody saw it happening, saw me getting trafficked as a child out in plain sight. She's just one person.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So put pressure on the FBI, put pressure, email your senators and representatives right now and say, why aren't we investigating? Why is Prince Andrew and Ghislaine Maxwell and all of Epstein's conspirators? I want them all charged. When is the FBI going to show us the evidence when are charges going to be brought? They have mountains of evidence. Like a room full of boxes and hard drives and photos. Epstein documented all of it because that's how he got leverage on people. And if the CIA intervenes like they told Acosta in 2009, he's an intelligence asset, back off. That's what they told Acosta. Well, then the head of the CIA, Gina Haspel, she needs to stand in front of Senate and go, why is your organization hiring pedophiles? Don't let this go. If all of us keep screaming about this, it will not go away. We cannot let this go away. This is the final battle between good and evil. I'm serious. This is like evil. This is centuries old evil. Look.
Yeah, big time.
Catholic Church, the royal family, corporate America. Evil, evil.
That is quite the axis of evil.
It's the axis of
big
evil.
Time.
And Trump and the Clintons were all friends with Bloomberg, and they all buddies. Dershowitz,
it's a big club.
All big club, and you're not in it. So that's my weekly Epstein tirade. Let's go back. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe these videos, folks. Come see Ron Placone and I on the road. December 13th, we're doing the Progressive Comedy Tour. Where, Ron?
We are going to be in Ventura, California on the 13th, Los Angeles on the 14th, and we're going to be premiering our 2020 sets at those shows because we're hitting the road hard in 2020. Here's some of the cities that have already been confirmed. Tucson, Arizona in February, San Francisco, California in February. March, we're going to be in Florida, Miami, Orlando, and we should be confirming Tampa very soon. April, Seattle, and Portland. May, we're working on some stuff, but Albuquerque, Detroit, Cincinnati, Cleveland, we should be coming at you real soon. And July, we've just confirmed Milwaukee and Chicago. East Coast, we're coming. Other spots of the Mid-Atlantic, we're coming. Southeast, we're coming back. So we're going to be seeing a lot of you in 2020. We're going to be touring an awful lot because it's an election year.
So go to ronplacone.com or grahamelwood.com and join us on the road. You show up to a Progressive Comedy Tour show alone, you leave part of a community because people like the DSA shows up. You know, MMT people showed up. Julian Assange people showed up at our tour in Australia.
Veterans for Peace.
Veterans for Peace.
Movement for a People's Party. The Green Party.
The Green Party.
Different candidates show up.
Yes. It's not just a comedy show.
If you see somebody not laughing, they're an FBI mole. Get them out of there.
Get them out of there.
Show them pictures of palm trees.
That's right.
Yes.
They're human.
Are they AIs? Yes. Is the FBI sending AIs to our shows? As long as they buy a ticket and merch, I'm okay with it.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, just buy a lot of merch, FBI. So let's go here. So,
do you have that shirt in a deep state blue?
Oh, Ron Placone, ladies and gentlemen. That is a beautiful joke. 360 people watching. Hit the like button, citizens of Gotham. Make Gotham great again. Let's go back to some super chats, Ron. George Allen, thank you so much for supporting the show, George. This is going to be a very exciting primary next year, but if they go to second vote and cheat, I'll never register blue again, Graham. Could you guys imagine Bernie versus Trump next year? Wow. Now, I agree, dude. If they, here's what I think I'm pretty set on this. I could change my mind, but I'm pretty set on this. If they cheat Bernie and Bernie doesn't run third party or Tulsi doesn't run third party and they decide, well, we're going to back Liz.
I don't think either of them will.
I don't think they will.
Yeah, I don't think
so. Let's say they don't. And they back a corporate Democrat that we're not fans of. I am either going to write Bernie in, Tulsi VP, I'm going to write them in, or I'm going to vote for a third party candidate. If a good third party candidate emerges, I will vote for them. Otherwise, I will write Bernie and Tulsi in, and I will make that my mantra from July through November.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. Yeah. Yeah, and third party. I mean, Green. I mean, I wouldn't vote for the Libertarian, but
right.
You know, if there's a good Green Party candidate.
But like, if a movement for a People's Party put a viable candidate, or just someone who is just independent, not.
Sure. Oh yeah. If something like that happened.
Right. Like if somebody just said I'm running, if Jesse Ventura just said I'm running independent or something, something like that, I would.
No, that's true. I didn't think about those.
If Lee Camp, if a billionaire backed me.
Lee. Yeah. Oh, I'd vote for you.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I would smoothies, vegan smoothies would be part of my Medicare for All plan.
Yeah, man. Vegan smoothies.
And I would outlaw states that don't have surfing. Anyway, I got a weird platform. Bill Sales, support the show, Bill. Thank you. You're shaving your knuckles for justice. 5,000 times more evil private money than government money equals evil rules.
I mean, the math checks out to me. I think that's okay.
Yeah, I dig it.
That sounds like sound math.
I got it. John Chouth. John, thank you for supporting the show. SCOTUS did gay marriage, not Obama, and his appointees were all added before he changed his position. Also, do a Jimmy Savile video. Oh, wow. Great point, John. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, look, Obama helped push for it. Yeah, it was the Supreme Court.
It was the Supreme Court, and really at the end of the day, it was public outcry and a movement of people. That's what it really was at the end of the day.
At the end of the day.
You know, like I'll say, yeah, it was a good moment, and Obama did do the right thing at the end, but, you know, it was people that forced that.
Yeah, and so Jimmy Savile, I'm just starting to learn about this guy as we go into Prince Andrew and the royal family. Jimmy Savile, my understanding of this, John and I need to know more about Jimmy, but my understanding, he was like a TV personality, sort of like Britain's kind of a Johnny Carson type, big guy.
He told me his name was JoJo. That's all I know.
He had a bunch of he was a big name guy, and it came out that he was like, he was molesting, raping children for years.
Wow.
And tied into all these celebrities in the royal family. And my guess is, and I'll uncover this more, is that it'll be, it was covered up and whatever else. So I'll try to get to that, John. Keith M., shave your knuckles for justice. If Biden put Baywatch's Pamela Anderson on the ticket, I'd think about that. Not only is she still hot, Pam's the only celeb to defend Assange.
Unfortunately for this listener, she's Canadian.
Is she? I never knew that.
Yeah. She was founded she was discovered at a Canadian football game.
I never knew she was Canadian. Interesting.
But if she liked Canadian football, you can be president then, right? Because
I think that's a qualifier.
Right?
Yeah,
you got to be a.
Yeah.
Gotta at least...
they do a thing where it's like they don't like the line of scrimmage. There's a separation between the lines.
Yeah.
So it's like whenever there's like 3rd and 1, you're like for sure gonna get it. I think
there's some weird thing like that
because like they don't line up.
Yeah. Well, they do 3 downs.
Is it 3 downs too?
It's a 20-yard end zone, not a 10-yard end zone.
Yeah. And they play it on ice, which is so weird. I don't know how they do that.
Yeah, and then they have sticks and they call it hockey.
Very
anyway,
strange.
I don't understand it. Balthazar 228, shave your knuckles for justice. You caught me. I was the Russian alien bot who went back in time to hack Joyanne Reed's weblog. Beep boop.
At least you're using your powers for good.
Yeah, if you're gonna be a time traveling AI, do it for good. Like, I'm down with that. Just don't, and again, come to our show and buy merch. Like, don't be an asshole. Louise Brooks, please listen to the interview with Marla and Annie Farmer on NPR. Epstein victims, more fuel to the fire. We don't let this story die. Yeah, thank you for telling me that, Louise. I know more victims are coming forward. This is critical. This is what happened with Harvey
Weinstein. It's nice to hear that NPR, who has gone really far downhill in recent years. They're nice, polite Republicans, big time at this point. It's nice to hear they're at least doing some stuff like that.
Yeah, and this is what got Weinstein. People finally came forward. Same with Bill Cosby. They came forward because it's just one person, it's one accusation. But when more and more people come forward, this is the key, and start implicating. And I know it's got to be scary because Epstein's died. They killed a guy in prison. That's a pretty scary. That's how powerful they are. They had a guy murdered in prison. And
fed the country. Well, fed the world a bullshit story.
Yeah.
That I mean, this is as far as just unbelievable. This passes JFK.
It's crazy.
A couple times. This laps it.
Yeah.
Big time.
This makes the magic bullet seem plausible. I guess a bullet could do that, from a single shot rifle at a moving target. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Ron Smith. Shave your knuckles for justice, Ron. Did you guys see in the news that Epstein's private banker was found dead from a reported suicide? Is that the Deutsche Bank guy?
I have not heard about this.
I don't know if that was Epstein's banker. That was Trump's. I know. Well, I just did a video that Trump's banker.
Never met him.
At Deutsche Bank, who was no longer Deutsche Bank. He committed suicide November 19th. If you're talking about that guy, I don't know if that guy had ties to Epstein or not. I'm not sure about that. If there's a separate banker that committed suicide that was Epstein's banker, I'd like to know about that. So
I don't even use banks. I'm the best bank.
I have my own cryptocurrency. It's called Tanning Salon Blow.
I accept KFC as a form of payment.
What did he put Wendy's in the White House? Come on, dude. I mean, if I was president, I'd make Tulsi my VP, and I would put a wave pool in the front lawn of the White House.
I'd put those solar panels back immediately. That would be the first decorating decision I would do. I was like, the solar panels going back up there right away.
And then an indoor, year-round surf wave pool.
Totally.
Yes. That'd be solar power.
With renewable, recycled water.
Yes.
Salt water.
Salt water.
No chlorine bullshit.
No chlorine. I would make public pools that are federally funded. I would make it mandatory that they transition to saltwater pools, which I know you can do. I swam in one in Perth, a public pool that was saltwater.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Andrew Dwyer. Boom, Andrew. Thank you for supporting the show. Doing research paper on big money dictating higher ed curriculums. Thought some of it could be good material for show. Could I send it when done? Yes, please do, Andrew. info@grahamelwood.com. I get a lot of emails. Don't be offended if I don't respond. Sometimes I take a while to respond. Sometimes I can't respond because I just get too many. So don't be offended. Of course, if you're a Patreon supporter at the $5 level, I'll do your art, I'll cover the story. So I appreciate that. And when I say send me stuff and I don't get to it, it doesn't mean that I don't care. I'm blowing you off. It means I am inundated with shit and it's just me. I have no assistance, no nothing. Aaron has to stay there because he's court ordered. Because he could not identify one single palm tree in a series of photos. So he's an AI, but he doesn't realize it yet, and he doesn't even know I'm talking about him. So that's how AIs work. Ramona D. Boom. Ever consider discussing 9/11 special grand jury Lee Camp did? Ooh, okay. Yeah, I know. They started talking about that. That's an interesting thing.
Is that the whole thing where they're going to reopen some stuff?
They're looking to reopen it. They're looking at it's. I think the thing maybe even Tulsi pushed for of why aren't we?
She mentioned it.
Yeah, why aren't we? She mentioned it. Why aren't we even talking about that the Saudis were involved? All right, Tony DeMayo, shave him, Tony. Mayor Pete doesn't support Chelsea Manning. Yep, bye.
I'm so shocked.
Really?
He doesn't?
An intelligence guy?
You got to be kidding me.
I would think an intelligence officer would support a whistleblower.
I can't. I am beside myself.
Oh, I was about to vote for him. Oh.
Does he support sending troops to her in prison?
Yeah, probably.
When they're on their way to Mexico?
Yeah. He wants to invade Mexico. Shave your knuckles for justice, Balthazar 228. Joe 426. Age is just a number, really. Balthazar 228. Sorry, Bill was supposed to say that, but that works. Yeah, Bill 426. Age is just a number, really. That's funny. Nay, nay, boom. Shave your knuckles for justice, nay, nay. Graham, you so right about the ruling class. Yeah. We're seeing them collapse around. Everyone's fed up with them. Everyone's fed up with them. It's collapsing around the world. Balthazar 228. Shave them, Balthazar. Oh, and if you remember, I rolled my ankle super bad when I met you two and was limping. My robot AI must have malfunctioned on a rotting stair.
Or you wanted us to think that.
Yeah,
You wanted us to think you were a person.
This is an AI tactic, Balthazar.
Hello, Ron and Graham. I rolled my ankle like a human person would.
Human person?
And it really hurts, this rolled ankle.
I need a soft cast that is made out of radio parts.
Can we take a photo that humans do?
Would you like to play a game? See, we've know all your tricks.
I will post this on MySpace/Instagram/Facebook, depending on the year. What's this guy talking about?
Oh, what is he? Weirdo. That doesn't make any sense. What a nutbag. All right, Balthazar 228, we got to get going. Shave your knuckles for justice. What if Jon Stewart moderated a debate or pulls a Gravel by running off $1 donations and getting on stage to rip into the circus? Oh, Jon Stewart, whatever. I don't know. I like Jon Stewart. I don't know what's happening.
He had some good moments.
Yeah, he had some good moments.
He had some good moments.
But if he moderated a debate, I would like it.
I would like it too. I would like it. You know what? I think he should kind of revisit his Crossfire 2004 days and just cancel somebody.
Yeah.
That's what I want Jon Stewart to do.
Yeah.
Moderate a debate and cancel somebody. Pick who. It can be Buttigieg. It can be, it can be Biden. It can be Warren. Just go cancel somebody, Jon Stewart.
Lock him down. Well, that's our show. Ron, where can people watch your fine program?
YouTube.com/Ron Placone, where Get Your News On with Ron returns tomorrow, and I'll see everyone there. Tweet me the articles. It's at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time. And then, of course, catch me out on the road, ronplacone.com for all those tickets. We're touring a bunch.
Boom. Come see us on the road, everybody. I do my live chat every Sunday, 3 p.m. Pacific, and then sometime during the week. So make sure you follow me at Graham Elwood on Twitter, because YouTube doesn't, even if you subscribe, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you've hit the bell notification button, but they still might not notify you. So I always announce it on Twitter. At Graham Elwood is where I talk all my politics. At Ron Placone. Follow us on social media. Like, share, subscribe. Send these out there. Thank you so much for watching and joining us. We're going to do these, try to do it every week. The December 19th Dem Debates, we will be going live immediately following those. So I will pick a day someday next week to do another one of these in the studio. Shave your knuckles for justice. Thank you so much. You are all making Gotham great again.